Welcome back, everyone. So good to have you here today on our second house call of the weekend. Hopefully you joined us yesterday for our very first live Cabral HouseCall. We had some of our IHPs, our integrative health practitioners, in for the day, small group in my Boston office. Really great to be able to talk with them, answer their questions, answer kind of issues or great things that they're doing inside of their practice, help them along in really any way that I can. So we answered their health questions for sure. Again, that was a lot of fun. We talked about doing a detox while on certain medications. We talked about using omegas and different products and how long should you use them, just for 4 months, or which one should be ongoing. Then we also talked about fecal transplants. When is the right time to do those? When not? We talked a little about what happens when you don't produce enough bile. So we talked about that yesterday. Talked about food sensitivities yesterday and gut dysbiosis. That was a big one. And the last one we spoke about was, is burning incense or certain candles healthy and a good thing inside your inside of your house? So I think that you'll find that surprising, that answer. So definitely check that out. That was episode 1982. So all podcasts can be found at stephencabral.com/podcasts. And if you want to follow along with the questions today, please do feel free. Go right now on over to stephencabral.com/1983. And lastly, before I get started, I wanted to thank you, all of you. I truly appreciate you. We got a lot of new subscribes and reviews last week. And that meant a lot to me because you came out, you supported this show when iTunes dropped the majority of our subscribers. It wasn't on purpose, we don't think. We hope not. But what happened was when they switched software, we lost all the subscriptions where people were subscribing to the podcast. The podcast is free to subscribe to on iTunes or Google Play or, Spotify, any of those. And that was, we put a lot of work into this. We really do. It's a labor of love. I love what I do. I love to be able to teach. And what happened was the podcast, it's always been ranked in the top 20. And, again, we're very grateful for that. And we put in a lot of work to make it happen and to get out there in front of people. And then it started dropping. We're like, what's going on here? Oh, Apple dropped all your subscribers. So thank you to everybody who subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, we would love you to. And if you could leave a review for the show on your favorite podcast player, it takes 10 seconds. That would mean a lot. And that is it. So let's get into your questions. The first question today is from Melanie. Melanie is asking, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to answer our questions. I've been doing seed cycling for a while now, so I do the pumpkin and flaxseed in the follicular phase and sunflower and sesame in the luteal phase. Does that mean I can't eat those seeds at other times? I love pumpkin and sesame. I would love to have them more often. Could I, for example, have pumpkin seeds in the luteal phase? I hope my question makes sense. Your question does make sense, Melanie. But if you are doing seed cycling to re-regulate your menstrual cycle, then you want to stick to the seeds that are recommended. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to stephencabral.com/podcast, type in seed cycling, and you'll see that podcast that's been getting very popular for people sharing, which is great because that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be shared. So you don't want to do the follicular phase seeds during the luteal phase. Now, I don't want to tell you to be a little bit more lenient with this, but it's actually typically okay to do sometimes some of the luteal-based seeds in the follicular phase. But the problem seems to be that women are more they lean towards estrogen dominance. So we don't want to do the follicular-based seeds, the estrogen-based seeds more during the luteal phase. Now, it means basically daily. So is it a big deal if you do it once a week? No. Definitely not. But if you're doing it daily, then it is a big deal. And also dosage matters. So you want to do about a tablespoon of each one of those during your seed cycling. But if you were to do a teaspoon every once in a while, no big deal, right? So it's kind of what we do over time that makes the biggest difference. And so hopefully that's helpful. You really, if you're doing this to rebalance your menstrual cycle, stick to the plan, no matter how much you love pumpkin seeds, all right? You can use other types. All right, Bettina's up next. Dear Dr. Cabral, thank you for sharing your knowledge. I appreciate listening to your podcast and getting more knowledge every day. I've come across this product called Omega-3 from Nordfolk, and would love to know your thoughts. The oil is made out of zooplankton. The EPA, DHA, SDA is bound in wax esters. When taking 2 capsules, a person gets 79 milligrams of SDA, EPA at 68, and DHA at 58. You get, and she just goes into some sterol, some astaxanthin. Let's see what else we're looking at here. What are your thoughts? And could I take this instead of the Nordic Natural cod liver oil? Would love to use only your products, but not living in the US. Unfortunately, my country puts huge taxes. I know this is out of your hands. Just mention it to say why I ask for alternatives. Thank you for your time. Best regards, Bettina. Yeah, I'm happy to answer this question. And again, whether you're an IHP or you follow the podcast, the products that I formulate for Equilife are meant to be the standard. I open source it so you can see exactly what I recommend. And if you don't feel the right fit for you, then I always tell people that. Sometimes they don't think that I'm really being serious. I'm honestly okay with it. You can do whatever you feel is best for you. But I just want to make sure that you're getting a good quality product that's been third-party tested, et cetera. Okay, so let me see if I can help you with this. It's actually a very easy answer. So it might seem like a complicated question, but it's not. You're basically talking about a product that's similar to krill oil. Krill oil is a great product. However, it doesn't move the needle on omega-3s. They've got a lot of research that's showing, the absorption is up, this and that. If you've been in a clinical practice and you run omega-3 tests, I can tell you for sure, if you're a clinician, you know that krill oil does not move your omega-3 numbers at all. Now, why is krill oil considered a great product then? Well, because it contains astaxanthin. The product you're talking about only contains, it looks like about 1 gram. I like 3 grams if you're going to use astaxanthin. However, it's not going to move your omega-3 numbers. And this product you're talking about, which is similar to it, it's not going to move your omega-3 numbers. But again, you never have to trust me. I'm just giving you the information. That's it. If you want, take the product for at least a month and then run your omega-3 numbers. And, I hope that you got yours. I know we're not going to do it anytime soon, but we were giving away omega-3 labs and you can actually test your numbers. You want to be at a 3-to-1. It's one of the most important labs to run because it's binary. You either are at a 3-to-1 from omega-6s to omega-3s or better, or you're not. And if you're not, we tell you exactly what to do. So, I would love for you to do that. Okay. The product you're taking is not a bad product, probably. I don't know. I don't know about these wax esters either. I'd have to look into that, but I don't typically love people consuming wax. But again, I could be misreading that. So let's not even talk about that because I don't want to, I always tell you when I'm not up on that. So I don't want to take this out of turn. But I love that it has some of the astaxanthin in there. I just don't think it's going to be a product that moves the needle for you. So what you want to do is look for a product like our omega-3 support. Okay. It's going to have about 2,000. It's going to have about 2 grams of omega-3s in there. And you're going to get 1,000 milligrams of EPA alone. So that's what moves the needle. Actually, you get 1,200. So that's the biggest difference maker is that EPA, DHA is the second difference maker. And that's because EPA very easily can flow towards DHA, but DHA has a more difficult time flowing to EPA. All right. Thank you for your question. Lindsay's up. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm wondering if you can answer this question. Both my husband and I have Apple Watches and wear them to bed and get our sleep data from this. My resting heart rate goes down to 58 to 63, but my husband's resting heart rate is 38 to 57. He often gets notifications in the morning that his heart rate went under 40. Is this okay? I'm quite worried about it. Even during the middle of the day, his resting heart rate during the day gets down to 47. I'm 36 and he's 34. He's a teacher and is quite, I think it's supposed to say alive all day. Thanks for all your help. Okay, so what you're talking about is bradycardia. I've talked about this many times in the podcast, but you may not have ever heard it called that. So what we're going to do is we're going to type this into stevencabral.com/podcast. You might have heard about that URL before. And let's see here. There's the official definition. Let me just type this in, stevencabral.com/podcast, because I want to get you the show. Believe it or not, the official definition, I'm pretty sure, of bradycardia is a resting heart rate below 60, which I think is kind of crazy. I agree with you. It's below 40. And so I am concerned. A lot of people say, oh, well, no, the person's in just really good shape. I don't know. Once you start getting into 30s, there could be other issues going on. So of course we want to take this seriously. So I go over bradycardia on episode 1947 and 883. And I talk about potassium levels and I talk about other items like that. So I would love you to check that out. You get a full answer right there. And then it will allow you to run lab tests and other items that you might want to do. It could be nothing. Honestly, it could be absolutely nothing. I have no problem with this 47 for a heart rate. I have a problem when it starts to get down to like 37, 38. A friend and private client of mine was just dealing with this. And so we just wanted to run some additional labs to make sure that everything was fine. Sodium to potassium levels in the heart, of course, right? That's very, very important. So I would love you to look at that show and then let's do a follow-up on that with your medical doctor, okay? Jen is up next. Can you please talk about autoimmune hepatitis in the liver? What are your thoughts on the root causes? And also, what are the solutions you could think of? Prescribing immunosuppressants is what the doctors do for this, but I know there has to be another way. Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's always another way. I think prescribing immunosuppressants is very dangerous. So I get it when you're doing organ transplant, right? Because you don't want the person's body to reject the organ that you put in from someone else's body. That makes total sense. But when you put someone on immunosuppressants for rheumatoid arthritis, for psoriasis, for autoimmune hepatitis, any autoimmune issue, what happens is you suppress the immune system, right? Immunosuppressants suppress the immune system. The person can also, unfortunately, succumb to things like pneumonia then and other very serious conditions because their immune system is so weak. So, what I like to say is this. Whenever we're looking at an autoimmune issue in general, we need to look at what are the underlying root causes. So for me to tell you how to cure, and I'm putting that in air quotes, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's, MS, lupus, hepatitis, we can't necessarily do that, right? We can't. No, first of all, we don't provide medical advice, cures, treatments, or diagnosis. However, it's okay that we don't do that because we shouldn't, because all of these things have an underlying root cause. So what we want to do is, at minimum, we want to run the starter kit over at Equilife. And ideally, we would love to be able to run the Big Five. The Big Five is going to show you your food sensitivities, your heavy metals, your gut permeability, your yeast or bacterial overgrowth. I mean, there's so many possibilities that's what you're going to uncover. And then what you do is you begin to work on those imbalances. And then lo and behold, the body becomes rebalanced and healthier. And then lo and behold, the person no longer has a lot of these health issues. So that is exactly what I recommend. And that's what we do every single day in my practice. Honestly, if my dad came to me and he said, hey, I have autoimmune hepatitis, it's exactly what I would do. So you're getting the same exact advice. All right, Laura's up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. I like putting all things I can into my smoothie. So I blend berries and different types of lettuce and herbs. I feel like I just answered this last week. Let me make sure I just didn't answer this. It seems familiar, so I apologize, and I do hope that you're a weekly listener of the Cabral Concept. If I answered this, I apologize, but I'm going to answer it again because I would hate to leave Laura out. Okay, so this person loves all things smoothies. So what they do is they put herbs and seeds and chia and sunflower, and what else do they put in this smoothie? Let's see. Let's see what else. Black pepper. And I know I answered this question. I really do. And they're basically asking, is this okay, right? Is more better? Is it okay? And so basically what I said is this. And again, I know I answered this somewhere. So they asked me somewhere else too. But you really just want to understand that if you put 50 things into your smoothie, you are asking your digestive system to break down 50 different things with all sorts of different enzymes, and it might just complicate the process a little bit. However, herbs and spices typically aren't an issue. So herbs and spices can actually enhance the digestive properties. They can help with blood sugar, like cinnamon or Gymnema sylvestre, vanadium, chromium, right? All of those. So I don't have a huge issue. You're asking about, just adding basics to the smoothie, like a lot of products to the smoothie. So what I would say is I have no problem with this. I really don't. I don't think that it's an issue whatsoever. And the way that you'll be able to tell is if you get bloating after the smoothie, if you get itchy eyes, if you get hives, if you get brain fog, if you get skin rashes, if you're not hungry for like 6 hours afterwards. That shows kind of the slow digestive properties. So hopefully that answers your question. All right, Shelly's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I listen to your podcast every morning, and you are like a part of the family now. Happy to hear that. I love when I hear that. I should say. I'm wondering about water consumption. I drink half my body weight in ounces per day, but is wondering if water combined with other ingredients counts. I make a daily smoothie with almond milk, powders, fruits, and veggies. I usually need to add water because of the thickness. Does that water count, and how much water is too much for a 45-year-old, 5'5", 130-pound woman? Thank you so much for your ongoing support. All right. So a great question here. I have the same thought process as you because I consume a very large smoothie as well. So I'm going to give you the standard and then we'll customize it for you. So you weigh 130 pounds, all right? So basically it's half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So half of 130 is 65 ounces, all right? What's 65 divided by 8? It's almost exactly 8, so 8 glasses of water per day. Okay, so there we have it. So now you need about 8 glasses of water per day. However, if you sweat quite a bit, you might need more. 8 is just kind of the standard. But what if you have really low blood pressure, right? And you have low energy? Well, then you might not be drinking 8 glasses of water per day unless you're adding some sea salt to that, right? If you have low blood pressure. So there's never a straight and narrow like answer that you can give someone, but we have to start with something, right? Because people are asking questions and they want answers. So about half your body weight, so about 8 glasses a day. Now, let's say you make a smoothie and it has 16 ounces of water, and let's say it has about a cup and a half of fruit. A cup and a half of blueberries, let's say. Okay. So the cup and a half of blueberries, that's equal to about another cup of water. And that counts because blueberries are about 88% water. So like the majority of that is actually water. So now you've got 3 cups of water right there in your smoothie. You subtract that from your 8 cups for the day. So now you only need 5 more cups of water. Now, you might say, well, I kind of feel like I need more than that. Not a problem. You can drink more. The best way to test, though, is your urine. So look at your urine. If it is completely clear, you are hydrated or overhydrated. You're looking for a light yellow tinge to your urine. Now, let's say that you're taking a B vitamin. Your urine is going to be bright yellow. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but it does mean that those extra B vitamins, which are water soluble, are coming out in your urine. So tough to tell always, but you'll be able to know, like maybe you don't do your B vitamin, for one day, and you can kind of say, okay, drinking this much water, my urine is typically a clear, light yellow, when I consume 9 glasses of water per day, right? Or maybe for you, it's 8 glasses, and the days you do your sauna or your exercise, it might be 10 glasses, right? So you kind of have to modulate it based on season. During the summer, or if you're in a dry house with heat during the winter, you might need to increase your water. So again, there's no steadfast number, but Shelly, you're probably somewhere between like 8 and 10 glasses per day. And yes, your smoothie counts, and yes, non-caffeinated herbal teas, herbal being ginger tea or hibiscus or passion flower, those count as water as well. All right, so that is it. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. Another week of the Cabral concept in the books. Once again, thank you so much for your reviews and for your subscribes. If you're able to do that now, again, I would appreciate it. Tomorrow, we will be back with our Motivation and Mindset Monday. Take care, everyone.